Hey folks, something a little different this time. Not about the Corvair, not a race car resurrection video, but something about my other race car, the Miata that I race in NASA. Um, Last season, the season before, was a time trial car. I'm renewing or reactivating or whatever my competition license for the coming year. So this is an ST5 class NASA race car. So I'll walk you through it. Let's start with some overall stuff, and then I'll start with the front, work my way to the back. Just some general description stuff. Not everybody's familiar with the NASA rules in ST, super tuning, super whatever, ST, the road race rules. General overview in NASA, the time trial rules and the road racing rules. In other words, what I'm involved in, ST1 through 5, ST1 through 6, actually, and TT1 through 6. The rules are similar. The difference is a time trial car doesn't need all the safety equipment, doesn't need a fire system, doesn't need a roll cage, doesn't need various safety equipment. My car had a lot of it in it, and as I converted it to a road race car, I added the rest of the safety equipment. I'll talk about that mostly on the interior. I'll go through that a little bit. Generally speaking, the rules in those classes are based on power to weight ratio. Power to weight ratio plus modifications or handicaps based on some allowable modifications to the car. So generally speaking, in the class, we're allowed vents essentially in the hood, but not in the fenders. We're allowed to remove the headlights. In this case, there's an intake for the air intake for the engine here. I have an air dam, but no splitter. We can have a splitter, but what I've done with this car is I took off the splitter a couple years ago, and I've downgraded the aero a little bit to make it simpler to race. The splitter was causing hassles with taking it on and off to get it on the trailer, and I went off track once and broke up the splitter. So when we get to the back, we'll see that my wing in the back is set up a lot closer to I don't know what you would call it, reducing the wind resistance. Let's say that. Better aerodynamics, it's less downforce, but it balances out with the front. And even with just an air dam, I still have to remove the bottom part to get it on the trailer. So there is a certain amount of working on it. So the front is, as you see it, it is a Miata. It does have a hard top. It looks like a Miata. It is a Miata. It started out as a Miata. And all the changes I made to it are reversible. So if someday when I decide to sell it, I've saved all the original parts, somebody actually can convert this back to a streetable car or a dual purpose car or an autocross time trial racing on this. Well, right now you wouldn't want to put it on the street with the roll cage and the racing seat. You wouldn't be able to. It's not legal. But it is convertible back to the way it was. So what do we got? Just a quick run through of the engine. There's not much done to the engine. It's on purpose that way. Like I said, the classing is based on power to weight ratio. So if I add more power, I have to add more weight. Right now, I'm at the minimum weight for what I have, 2260 for my horsepower, which is, it's an average horsepower at the wheels on a dyno. It's the way it's classed. It's around 140 horsepower at the wheels. So, and it's 14 to 1 pounds per horsepower. So if I added 10 more horsepower, I'd have to add 140 pounds of weight. If I added 20 more horsepower, which would be doable if I did work on this, yeah, I'm keeping this as a low horsepower, low weight car because Miatas are fun that way. So I have done what could be considered normal stuff, normal easy stuff for the engine. The internals are all stock, the crank and all that stuff. That's all completely stock. It's got a mega squirt for the engine computer. And because it's got a mega squirt, I'm not running an airflow meter. It does, it's the fuel and everything is calculated by throttle position, RPMs, and engine vacuum. So I've done some little things. It's got the normal stuff. It's got headers. I've got a spec Miata exhaust on it, which to keep the sound within reason. I've got a flat top or square top manifold, aftermarket skunk to throttle body, not for flow at all, but for durability. And on this particular one, I did a coolant reroute, which keeps the cylinders evenly cooled or keeps the temperature more even for longevity. Yeah, longevity. And then there's a proportioning valve for the brakes that's adjustable, and some bracing, some venting, crankcase ventilation. I'm going to upgrade that before next season. But essentially, this is a motor that, if there were no pollution requirements, would be legal on the street. And a lot of people build them this way. So it's got, it's fun to drive. It's fun to drive. Not the fastest thing out there by any means, but it's fun to drive. Okay, how about a little bit about the outside and the back? Fenders are normal, no big fender flares or anything. The wheels and tires, I'm running what essentially is a spec Miata tire size, which is essentially a stock tire size, 205/50/15s. The wheels are 9-inch wide. I have two sets of wheels, so 9-inch and 8-inch. So they're wider wheels, pushed all the way out to the edge of the fenders. The fenders are rolled on the inside, and there's enough room in there, but it's not crazy wide. You can see the wing is not a high up in the air, high downforce wing. It's a simple wing stuck into the back, hopefully to smooth out the airflow and give a little bit of downforce. Trying to increase the top speed of this thing at the end of the straightaways. That is my issue, because I'm running against cars that have 50 to 100 horsepower more than me. They have to be heavier, but they still, at the end of the straight, what's the important thing? Aero and power. And they have it, and I'm trying to make the most of what I have. So what else do we have here? Let's look at the interior. Okay, the interior. The first thing is there's no stock mirror because it's not required. I tried to get a mirror that moved the mirror inboard a little bit. It's concave, so I can have a better field of vision, and it hopefully marginally, slightly helps the wind resistance. You can't tell, but the door has been gutted because the roll cage goes into the doors, and you can see the roll cage here. It's tied into the floors, the floor panels. It's tied front and back. It's tied all the way to the back, across. It's diagonally braced. It's both for safety, primarily for safety, but it also stiffens up the chassis. So the trick is to keep it within the rules, but make it safer and stiffer. So what else? How about this? Master cutoff. Cuts off all power in case of a problem. I also use it for cutting off all power to make sure the battery's totally disconnected when I'm storing it. It's a requirement. Now it will, you shut it off, the engine stops, everything is off. They test it. It's tech actually make sure that happens. There's a fire system. The bottle itself is down here on the floor. You might be able to see it there. And it's plumbed into one nozzle in the cockpit and one nozzle in the engine compartment. And then there's a pull release, a cable release right over here within arm's reach of me to be able to pull it. And I think it's called FE36. It's one of the later versions of the fire retardants that are being used nowadays, since halon is not legal anymore. And also the aqueous, AFFF, the water-based foam stuff, they've discovered that it's a carcinogen. The people in the factories there were issues, so that's not used. I don't use it anymore. Places I buy stuff from, they don't sell it anymore. I don't think it's illegal, but we don't really use it anymore. So what else? The dashboard is as stock appearing as I could make it because I wanted it to look stock. The inside is all gutted, but the outside looks pretty good. Looks pretty stock. There is, this thing right here is to hold a tablet. Because it's a Mega Squirt, I have extra gauges and monitoring software on the tablet to give me a better idea what's going on with the engine. There is a bracket over here for a phone, a non-current phone of mine. I run Race Chrono, which is timing software, and it ties in with the GoPro that I have mounted on the roll cage. And the camera is a requirement for documentation if there's an issue. What they say is, it's not important what your camera can see when there's an issue. It's important what the car behind you sees when you have an issue. So if there's an issue in front of me, they may ask me to look at my footage to see what happened. The proportioning valve for the brakes, there's a knob in the cockpit here that will enable me to adjust it. Because my seat, aluminum seat, bolted in all over, because it's not a full containment seat, it doesn't have the side wings. Now the seat in the Corvair is a full containment seat, but this one isn't. It's a smaller seat to fit in the Miata, something I had. And because it isn't a full containment seat, I need to run this right side net to keep my head in place, so it doesn't, if there's a side impact, it doesn't yank my neck, it doesn't hurt my spine. On the outside, the door net is attached to the roll cage, and that's probably something that it's more known for people that have seen race cars. It's got a quick release at the top, so if something happens, I can release it and climb out quickly, or corner workers can release it. The center mirror, I mentioned how the side mirror was moved in. It's concave. Both side mirrors are concave, and the center mirror is concave to give me good vision. What else? I think that might be it. To make it easier to get in and out, the steering wheel is quick release. As each year goes on, I am more conscious about getting in and out more easily. A lot of the interior is stock-ish. For instance, the Mega Squirt is actually in the location where the original computer was. So it's way up under the dash. Fun times getting it in and out to do things. The fire system needs to be recertified every 2 years. So you send it back and they either refill it or say it's okay. The belts, my current belts are FIA compliant, so they'll last 5 years. Yeah, 5 years, I think. If they're not FIA compliant, those also have to be replaced every 2 years, not just inspected. That's, I think, about it. Some other interesting things that, if you're not racing, you may not think about is, it's required that the steering wheel lock be disabled so that it doesn't accidentally lock. Notice I don't know if you can see it, but I keep the key there. That's my primary on and off switch. Essentially, it's a switch now. It's not, doesn't lock the steering wheel. There's a way in the Miatas where you drill into them and into the lock, and there's no steering wheel lock anymore. That's for safety. And I think that's about it. Okay, there you have it. That's the car. This is both fun and it is enabling me to get my comp license back active again. And even though I will be vintage racing the Corvair, I will still keep racing the Miata. NASA is a great organization. NASA Great Lakes is like right at the sharp end of the pyramid. Great bunch of people. Of course, I'm biased. I'm an instructor. I instruct HPDE 1 and 2 for NASA. And I hope you enjoyed this. It's some sort of an overview, no secrets. I mean, there's nothing secret in this thing. And keeps me in practice making videos. What can I say? So until next time.